Some of the content covered may be graphic in nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely it's really just
I love stories like this because it's
you can just someone scared to death. Yeah, that's a real thing.
there are countless horror stories
People that you shouldn't fuck with, right? And the JFK assassination limo.
to real.
Yeah, good evening, everybody, from the Mistake on the Lake, deep within the Great American Rust Belt. I'm your host, John Matinski. This is T3TV alongside Steve, a.k.a. Buddha Gibson.
This is Dan Rady? I thought you said Dan Rady.
And Rob Taglarina, guest host, guest seat in the house.
Would he do a
Hell yes, I hope I am able to fill Mr. Dan Rady's shoes.
Those
There's
are
some-
awful
No matter
small shoes.
How pointy and shiny they are.
So we'll give everybody a quick background. We've known Rob for pretty much our entire lives. Rob, Buddha was your best man in your wedding.
Regretfully.
The okayest man.
Yeah. And let's see here. And then Rob was a matron of honor to Buddha.
Nice.
But yeah, how are you gentlemen doing this evening?
I'm fantastic. Excited.
I'm jazzed up.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like a lot of us are going to try and talk like Rady tonight. I'm refraining from doing so.
yeah, I mean,
So-
and you know what? The funny thing is we went out with Rady a couple weeks ago, and it was the day after his retirement. And I mean retirement from the show, but Buddha made a point that he was like, anytime anyone does an impersonation of him, it always sounds the same.
Oh, for sure.
And
Absolutely.
see, there you go.
John, you're
Dan-
100% correct on that.
Dan is literally like a caricature of himself, but it's not really a caricature because it's real. Like if you met him, it's exactly what you would picture. And
Yeah,
that's
and-
why we love Dan.
Like, that's not Dan. That's a 13-year-old boy with a mustache.
Now, listen, in everything he does, his like, I guess you would say, is it his dialect? But like, everything is very fast, in short little bursts, and you've got to kind of pinch your throat and kind of talk like a 1920s gangster. So like, what you want to do here? Now, Buddha.
Now, Buddha.
So
Dan Bugsy Rady.
rocking a leather coat. All right. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna be rotating seats here, and Rob offered up 2 of his Thursday nights, and he also has a nice set of
Cans.
yeah. Well, he has the equipment to kind of help in and step in and help out. So,
Happy
Yeah.
to finally use it. Sitting
Yeah,
here
right?
collecting dust.
you know, it was funny too because we were trying to
Oh, wait,
like.
hold on. Dan, you're fucking listening, and you had time to comment, but you couldn't do the show.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out.
I'm gonna take a break.
But anyway, go on. I am not free enough. I might show up, but I'm also not busy. Kinda.
Shit.
Calling in live. Back to you, Dan.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Dan, why don't you call in, have a conversation with us?
See, I knew he would do it too because he can't step totally away. He didn't trust us enough.
Yeah,
All
he
right,
thought
so-
we were just going to rip on him. Anyway,
So, here's some news for today, and I know we always try not to get political, but we're going to today a little bit, just a little bit. President Biden stopped in Cleveland, and he was at the Honey Hut Ice Cream on State Road.
Are you serious?
About 10 minutes from my house.
When was this, today?
Yeah,
Holy crap.
Yeah, but-
do they not tell people when that's happening?
I don't
Would
think so.
you?
Well, no.
The best part about it is the one
So
comment
the best
that
way
Natalie
to get
pointed
something
out.
done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
One of the best comments was he probably walked up, ordered a cheeseburger, and said it's great to be in Kentucky. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, President Biden visiting Honey Hut. All right. Let's see here. Okay, this one's out of HuffPost.com. Cheese photo leads to arrest of big cheese drug dealer in Liverpool. And so the story goes, a drug dealer in English city of Liverpool thought that he was a big cheese until police. See, this is the problem with articles like this. So long story short, the guy, I guess there was a sting operation or something of where the guy posted a picture in one of those private chat applications, or as they call it, apps. But anyway, so he took a picture of his hand holding a brick of cheese, and the police were able to analyze the photo and get his fingerprints and go against other fingerprint data that they had already, in their database or whatnot. And that's how they were able to identify the guy. But of course, whoever wrote this article, let's see here.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, what are they?
Cheese photo lead. All right, you got to read it like Dan. All right, so cheese photo leads to arrest of big cheese during dealer in Liverpool. So, and I didn't
Dude,
say
like the redundancy of these articles that by these people that are
Yeah.
fucking journalists, like, oh. Like,
And
first
this
of all,
is-
after reading that, it was written in fucking crayon because
Well-
that's clearly like the level of that person.
gold crayon too.
Gold crayon, yeah,
Yeah. So
with
we're
that
gonna write.
giant eraser.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess they're able to get the guy's fingerprint data off of a picture and then compare it to what they have in their server. Pretty fucking crazy.
I'm not okay with that shit. Like,
Well, that and like
it's-
and so what else did they used? It was called EncroChat. Have you guys ever heard that? I know. What's
I
the
have
other one
not.
that's really popular that you told me about, Rob?
Was it Telegram?
Telegram. That's right. Yeah. So I'm on Telegram. Don't message me.
I'm on social media, but I'm pretty fucking antisocial.
Yeah. You only troll Sherrod Brown and all of the
No,
other.
I troll Mike DeWine. Let's
That
get
too.
it right.
No, but dude, the other day somebody posted a thing about how they were running for governor, and Buddha like rifled off a million questions but no response.
Yeah, actually, I did that to two
Sounds
of them.
about right.
Yeah, I'm gonna work for you. Buddha's like, okay, what are you gonna do about this, and this? And then it was
Nothing.
just straight up.
And it's actually funny because both of those people were responding to a ton of the comments on there. And I was like, maybe they're actually going to interact, or at least their campaign is actually going to interact. And then it's like, a question? Pass.
Right. What are you gonna do about unemployment? I'm gonna get people jobs. All right, how are you gonna
Yeah.
get people jobs? We're gonna get them to work.
Right? It's just that perpetual fucking cycle.
What are you going to do about the basically the social engineering of a $15 minimum wage? So we're just going to not let people go back to work until they make enough money. It's for you to where they don't have to go to work. And then you have to incentivize people to come to work by raising your rates.
It's absolutely insane.
Yes, it
driving
really
down
is.
Bagley Road, I'm sure you've seen it. It's pretty close to you, both of you. Literally every single place is hiring. From
Dude.
Pulp, Arby's, Wendy's, like every fast food chain down the line, couple little mom and pop shops, a restaurant. It's like everything is hiring. And it's like, well, yeah. So the thing is, if you were to tell me, like, hey, you have the option to not work and make X amount of dollars, or you can work and make either X dollars less or $2 more, even for $2 more, I'd be like, you're a complete idiot if you decide that.
Right.
That being said, I am 100% not okay with paying for anyone to not work, as I'm sure most people are.
Well, like the crazy part that I don't understand, that people don't understand, is like, yay, we're sitting at home. Why wouldn't you sit at home to get paid? And then when you realize that not only have prices fucking skyrocketed, you're like, why is the store out of stock of everything? Oh, that's right. Because when you sit at home and get paid for doing nothing, no one is making anything. You're not producing any fucking materials.
Yeah.
Hence, services cannot be rendered. And it's like this. It's literally just cutting the head off the snake. You want to kill the economy? Pay people to stay home and not do anything.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you wonder, dude, like you're seeing it with lumber. And dude, a fucking 2x4 is over $12 at Home Depot.
Jesus.
That shit
That's
4 months
insane.
ago was like $350.
That's like a 400% increase.
Dude, I bought 15 8s and 10 10s, and it was $260 yesterday.
What were you building? A sawhorse?
Yes. we're doing this dude bought a gigantic house that has sat vacant for a long time, and he's turning it into an Airbnb. So we're doing a bunch of work there. So the initial start was go pick up 62x4s, and that's $1,000 later. And then we'll figure it out as we go.
And he's like, you're doing the work for free, right?
It's yeah, there's a lot of stuff invested in this one.
No.
I wouldn't do it.
That when you're talking about disincentivizing people to work, real quick, that reminds me, Buddha, I think I texted you about this actually when I went into to Chipotle, and it was pretty early, like 10:30 or something, so I wasn't sure if they were going to be open anyway. But went into the place next door, they were closed, so I was like, okay, I'll go to Chipotle. Went to Chipotle, and I walked in, and there was a lady and a couple kids working in the back, and I just stood up at the front of the line. She's like, "Do you see the sign?" I was like, "No." And she's like, "We're doing online orders only." And I was like,
Oh, yeah. That dude it drove me freaking crazy.
"Okay." And I just stood there for a second and stared at her. It felt like the moment in Superbad where he went into the eBay store and was picking up those boots with the goldfish in the bottom. And he's like, "I'd like to buy these." And she's like, "You can't buy that here." So I'm looking at this woman in front of rice and fucking beans, who will not serve me rice and fucking beans. That I'm just like, how can you not just put the same shit in the same bowl?
Hold on. Let me get out my phone and order it online here so that you can make it for me 30 seconds later.
I was going to, and then I was so pissed off when I went back to my car because I was like, whatever, I'm fucking hungry, I'm gonna get it. And I got in the car, I was like, no, I'm not bowing down to this shit. And now I kind of feel bad for that lady because none of her fucking employees want to show up. And
No.
she's probably in the back sweating, doing the online orders, pissed off.
And that's the other problem too, is that, she probably is not for it, but they're probably from the higher up saying like, hey, this is how, they probably can turn off the cash register from like remotely, so that the only way they can process orders is online.
Right.
And this is another way of cutting jobs in the service industry, is to, okay, now we don't have a person at front taking your order anymore. You got to do it online and just come pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Who actually used to, really quick, who used to do that, and I had a similar experience, the fucking Apple store. I went there.
They're doing it right now too.
Well, no,
I
I'm
went there to
talking.
go-
I'm talking like 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I remember I went to the one in Legacy Village, and I needed, like my iPod took a shit or something, and it was still under warranty. So I walked in, and I was the only person in the store, and they're like, "Oh, what's up? Do you have an appointment?" And I'm like, "No, I just need to get this looked at." And the dude was like, "You have to make an appointment." And I was like, "For what?" And he was like, "Well, we are all done by appointment only." And like, I remember I stopped. I like made it a point to look around the entire store, and I was like, "I need an appointment?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm literally the only person in this store right now." He's like, "Well, I mean, the earliest appointment we have is tomorrow." And I was like, "I'm fucking good, dude. Fuck off." Like,
yeah.
Yeah, he looks fucking stupid.
yeah.
And
Go ahead,
oh,
Rob.
I was gonna say I've been always so fucking mad when I call Apple and you don't have a number to the specific store. Like supposedly the stores don't have a phone number that you can reach a human being at.
they'll transfer you to them, but you've got to jump through freaking
Oh,
hoops.
it's
It's like
so
a video
annoying.
game. You've got to get through levels, and each level gets harder and harder only to talk to the fucking person at the end.
Holy shit.
And every time you get through one other call representative, it's like a boss in a video game.
And it's like the lower level starts out with like black hair, and then it goes to brown hair, and then like yellow, and then blue, and then the boss is pink hair.
Dude, I had to fucking.
We're geniuses.
Jeez. I have been trying to return something to Home Depot for 6 months, and I don't have a receipt for it. And I wouldn't care if it was like $5, but it's like 30. And really, at this point, it's just solely on principle.
Buddha,
because
we went to the Hamvention, and you were haggling ends of cords with the guy there. It was the guy's like, it's $1. You're like, take 75 cents for it.
Yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day, transaction was completed.
Yeah.
And
No,
that's
I
what's
think
important.
He
Yeah.
tried 50 and they settled on 75. Like, holy shit.
Well, let me just make the point that I have returned a ton of things to Home Depot without a receipt because they just give you store credit, and if it's not on my credit card, then I get store credit.
Do you get annoyed when people call it Home Depot?
I've never heard that
Oh, never mind.
ever.
Oh,
Like people
As-
call Target
as-
Target.
oh, I got you. I thought
I don't-
you meant there was
I just
people.
ignore those people. So anyway, so they've been denying me for 6 months to return this thing, and they're like, you have to call this number. I sat on hold for 30 fucking minutes before they literally said, oh yeah, so I can't do anything for you, but I can send you this email, and then you have to give us in writing and then mail it in a reason why you want to return this. And I said, can't I just tell you what I told you already, that I don't need it and I just want my
Holy
money
shit.
back? And they're like, no. And I was like,
Remember?
what the what?
You're on the
Like,
phone with like about a router or like a network switch. And the guy's like, you're like, so what you're saying is I can't do what I want to do. After being on the phone for like an hour and a half, and the guy was like, yes.
yeah, that, I unfortunately do remember that.
Dude, Home Depot used to be the shit with returns.
Yeah, they got all they started cracking down like maybe a year ago, maybe a year or two ago, where now, like, before when you didn't have a receipt and you could return shit, they would just give you a gift card, store credit. Now, like, when they give you that, they scan your ID, so you can use that store credit. Because they have to scan your ID when you use it. Because what people would do, which is fucking hilarious, they would go and load up a cart and then roll it out the exit because nobody gives a shit, and then roll it back in the entrance and return all of that shit that they just
Holy
stole.
shit.
And just, dude, people would literally do that with like bundles of shingles and then come back with like 30 bundles of shingles and be like, all right, I didn't need these. And then they get, a ton of fucking money on a gift card, and then they're just like, see you later. And then you can sell the fucking gift card for half price because it didn't cost you anything.
Wow.
Yeah,
man.
it's a racket.
I remember when I worked at Kmart for a Christmas season,
I remember that.
and don't use credit card, folks. Listen to your Uncle John here.
My PayPal just got hacked
Did it really?
No
this
shit.
morning.
Did you buy what did they buy with it?
Unfortunately, nothing came up yet. I just got the notification saying someone in North Carolina logged in, and I was like, "Is Rob on vacation already?" But
It wasn't protein powder, so he knew it was someone else.
Right.
no, so far they haven't bought anything. So
So, somebody had distributed. They bought a TV, like a big TV. And again, you got to remember, this is like back in 2000, like I think it was 2010. And so when you had like a 32-inch flat screen LCD, which was like 5 inches thick at the time, that was like $1,000. So this was way bigger than that. They figured out a way to distribute the weight in the box so that it would feel like the same weight as the TV, but it was just bricks.
Selling shit out the back of the truck. I remember they were doing that.
So,
do you remember when people were doing? They were selling the Xbox boxes, and they would
Yep.
just pack them
Yeah.
with bricks.
Yep.
You still can't get a
Fucking-
fucking PS5.
Holy shit.
Still, like,
It's done by a lottery, isn't it?
it's just every time you hear about it, it's just worse. It gets worse and worse. So
No, I mean, like, isn't that how they select? Like, you can't get on a list. It's done by lottery.
Oh, is that how it's going now?
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Or even if it's not a lottery, it's just at random.
I think the lottery is done through PlayStation itself. If you can from retailers, it's still all fucked up.
Oh, is it first come first serve through them?
I think so. So all right, I'm pivoting over here in the news. This one's kind of interesting. Out of let's see, Indiana, 9-year-old kid finds $5,000 cash under the floor mat of his family's used SUV. This is out of UPI.com. It says a 9-year-old Indiana boy cleaning out his SUV of his family in September made a discovery his father found it difficult to believe. $5,000 cash. Landon Melvin, 9, was cleaning out his family's Chevrolet Suburban in Plainfield when he found an envelope under a floor mat that contained the cash. The boy told his father, Michael Melvin, about the discovery in the vehicle, which the family had purchased in September of 2020, but his dad had a difficult time believing the story was accurate. I was like, whatever, he's 9. Michael Melvin told his dad, I'm like, I found something. All right, so the paper, he says it was paperwork. I'm not going to paraphrase here, but yeah, kid finds sounds kind of suspicious.
Say another case where they turned it into the police, though. Is what it sounds like. Anytime that shit's reported.
When I
get so mad at these.
One of the stories I saw that it said kid does the right thing and turned it in.
Kid's a fucking idiot.
Oh yeah, so
Kid's
here's
gonna hate himself in 10 years.
Okay, so it says
what the article should say.
The Melvins contacted the previous owners of the SUV. The family told them they had driven the Suburban to Florida for a cruise in 2019 and had misplaced the envelope of money during the trip. The family insisted that Landon keep $1,000 of money for the finder's fee, and so they did return the money to its
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's nice.
So yeah, the family did give the kid the money. All right.
Hang on. It was under the actual, like, the interior carpet.
Must have been.
Like, dude,
probably just between the floor mat and the carpet.
$5,000 fucking dollars is not going to be, like, I didn't notice this gigantic discrepancy in the fucking floor.
It was probably just one $5,000 bill.
Oh, that makes way more sense.
Dude,
I am a dummy.
how the fuck?
Sorry.
Like, all right.
Hope you don't mind a paying change.
Right? Forgot my checkbook.
Hold up. Why is Brady here again? Did he call in? No. How do you lose $5,000 on a trip? And imagine
under the fucking carpet.
Oh, they probably got divorced over that shit and everything.
So,
God damn it,
Ted! This reminds me. Okay, Rob and I were in a band together. We played this carnival. I walked up to Rob, dude, and Rob's like one of the nicest, most generous people ever. Dude, you'd have to do something really heinous for him to like get mad at you. And it was such a hot day. It was like in the middle of July. We played outside at this carnival. Nobody really gave a shit that we were there. The set didn't go as we had, things were going out as we had hoped, and I had to change we rented a U-Haul to move all this shit because we also had to bring our own sound system. And I went to change in the U-Haul. I get out of the U-Haul. I close the door. I realize I locked the keys in the thing. I go up to Rob, and Rob's like, "You ready, dude? You ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, I locked the keys in the car." He's like, "Are you fucking serious?" So we ended up playing the whole set trying to figure out like how we were gonna get back into this U-Haul.
A cop came after, right, and jimmied it open. Was that what happened?
Yes, he did. But yeah, I just remember like you were so mad.
I was hoping the cop was there to arrest you for being a fucking idiot.
But all right. So, all right. This one's also out of UPI. 400-year-old English coin found by archaeologists in Maryland. A Maryland museum said archaeologists searching for the coin of an early English settlement uncovered a rare clue, a silver coin dating from the 17th century. Travis Pirano, director of research and collections at the historic St. Mary's Museum, said the archaeologists working to locate the original site of St. Mary's Fort, one of the earliest English settlements in North America, found a silver coin bearing the image of King Charles I. It's fucking crazy. It didn't exactly have the date printed on it, but it was pretty much the next best thing. It had a maker's mark that was only used in 1633 and 1634, so it might as well have been the date printed on it, to be honest. That's crazy. So a 400-year-old coin dating back to like one of the earliest settlements was found in Maryland over the last few weeks.
That's crazy. I love that type of stuff.
How much do you think that's worth?
At auction, probably at least 500 grand, right?
Yeah, you got to imagine.
As much as some dummies willing to pay.
That's true.
What if it was just a fake gold chocolate or like a silver chocolate coin all melted and shit?
They put it in a display case like with a light on it and it just slowly melts.
Did you ever, or did you see that they like just found some Egyptian ruins and like they started to uncover them and it turned into like a whole fucking city? And I'm just like, God damn, like to think about the fact that not only did someone lose a neighborhood or city or whatever you want to call it, like to the point where nobody remembered that it used to be there. It was completely fucking buried. Like, that's fucking crazy to me because, I mean, I know we're not talking about like burying the fucking pyramids, but if the entire area was just completely buried to the point where you can be walking and standing on top of it and not know that there's actually a civilization underneath it, is fucking just crazy to me.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's nuts.
And how does it like get buried? That's the question.
I think it gets buried because of all of the sandstorms and shit. You know what I mean? And it just moves around so much of just dirt and sand and whatnot over, you know, you're talking ancient Egypt, so it's not like it was like, 20 years ago there used to be a neighborhood here. I remember, you know, it's like over that vast amount of time just kicking all that shit around.
Oh yeah. Did you ever see the ancient civilizations that existed like underground?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's like
mole
all
men?
kinds of like what?
Mole men?
Mole men? I'm assuming you could call them mole men. But yeah, there's like huge vast caves and all kinds of shit where they literally had to dig out. And it was, are you playing Sandstorm?
Because Buddha said it.
But yeah, and they said that it was probably from times when you know, there was some dramatic changes on Earth where they had to literally go underground to survive. But it's entire civilizations that thrived in there for apparently hundreds of years.
I did see, I do remember seeing some stuff about, and that was actually one of the really, really old stories. I don't know if it ever got released, but that Hypogeum Malta, which was like a system of underground caves, and they said that they thought the way it was dug out was actually, they found a way to like use sound waves to actually like carve out fucking caves.
Wow. I believe it.
Shit, dude, I'm telling you, man, there are so many smarter people than me and have been around for so fucking long that it kind of makes you wonder, like, when people can come up with the technology for what they had at the time and have some of it still be more advanced than what we're using, it's like, are we really getting smarter, or did we just peak and now we're just getting fucking dumb?
I think you're right. We've fucking peaked. I think there's Can you guys get lower than that?
I can't.
I guess she's got us beat.
Oh, I think
It's like
I can
black
match it.
metal. All right. I got an interesting topic to go over outside of news articles. That was kind of pretty much it on the news front. Buddha, do you want to hop over into what you have, or do you want me to?
Actually, there's one news story, and it's an old news story, but I don't know why I just randomly came across it the other day. Did you ever hear that story about there was a diver? He's like a YouTube dude, and he was like going on a dive, and basically in the area that he was in, I don't know if it was the sheriff or the police or whatever authority that was there, they were like, hey, when you go in that lake or whatever the fuck, if you happen to come across a GoPro, let us know. It might be this guy's. And like,
Yeah, I remember this.
Do you remember the dude found it and it was like the last
That's
day?
known- That guy
the
was
dude-
alive or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and he ended up drowning in that lake.
Yeah,
and they never
dude.
found his GoPro.
Yes.
Wow. But they found him.
Yeah, they found him, but they never found his GoPro.
And they ended up finding
And,
it. It was just like him swimming and stuff, right?
Yeah, he was like zip lining, and then like it was him at that lake, and the GoPro was like trashed, and it sat underwater for what 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, but then they were able to
Holy
pull
crap.
the SD
and
card out.
they said the SD card was totally fine.
That's
Crazy.
insane.
Dude, it's amazing. Like, I was showing somebody the other day. It was a micro USB. Well, not a micro, but like a USB. It was like a USB A type. I think it was maybe C, or not C. USB 3, and the thing had to be like. Remember, like the Logitech keyboards that would come with the USB key that you would plug into the computer, and it would so that it was wireless.
Transmit, yeah.
Yeah, the thing was that big. Held 150 gigs. And I was like, holy shit. I remember freshman year of college spending upwards of like $300 on a 150 gig LaCie drive. That was the size of like 3 times the size of my cell phone. And like
I remember that drive.
Yeah. And I remember it fell off my desk and stopped working. And I lost all my files.
When is the last time you actually looked at prices for TVs? Since we're talking about electronics,
It's fucking ridiculous, dude. 75-inch TV is $650 at Best Buy.
dude, you can get like a 50-inch for what, like 175 or something stupid, which like got me thinking when flat screens first came out, when the LCDs were like in their newest release. I bought a 15-inch LCD flat screen, and it was like $600 or $500 for fucking 15-inch.
I remember you playing Warcraft on that.
Oh god,
15-inch?
that's so depressing. Yeah,
Wow.
and that was big at the time.
Dang.
My parents still have the same monitor that we got. Man, I think it was when we were in like 6th grade. And it's
CRT?
It's an LCD, but it's relatively flat and it's square. It was like before they decided that the wide angle was better.
Yeah,
It
that
still has
15
it.
inch
Still works.
Is still the 15 is still at my mom's, and it still works.
Yeah, that was square too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, theirs still works. It's hooked up to their old ass.
couldn't afford them extra couple inches.
I don't think they made them bigger than that.
Yeah.
No, that was
my mom
huge at
spent
the time.
$700 on that.
Oh, that's so depressing.
Oh yeah, we had to have it though. I don't know fucking why.
If you were to think now, for as long as they've had it, it probably only costs like a couple of pennies a day for them to have that.
That's true.
Right.
So money
If
well
I can go
spent.
back in time to tell her to quit her bitching, like, you'll appreciate it in 20 years, Mom.
Right.
Not
Dude,
buying a
that's
new
like
Acer every 3 years.
for fucking $29 or whatever the fuck they cost
Right.
now. Dude, that's like when people buy solar panels. Like, depending on the system that you get, it'll be like, this thing pays for itself in 30 years, and then you start making money. It's like, I'll be fucking dead in 30 years. The
Yeah.
buy-in's like 70 grand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how much like one solar panel outside, my condo would do.
No,
How much it would generate.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Fucking
You
turn
probably
on
charge
your
yours.
fucking, your Apple Watch.
I was gonna say you probably charge your cell phone and watch at the same time.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I'm curious. See, I've never looked into the, like actually with interest into solar panels, but so depending on how much they can generate, is there a maximum as to how big a battery you can charge with it?
I doubt it.
But I don't
I'm sure
fucking know.
there's a max that they sell for residential. I'm sure.
Yeah.
What if you just said, no, I'm doing this my way, and I'm just going to charge the fuck out of all these batteries?
What are you using it for?
Power my fucking house.
That grenade-shaped dildo from the news the other day.
Yes. Wireless charging.
The old tooth chipper.
All right. Buddha, you want to go into your story first tonight?
Yeah, I could talk. I got two I can touch on, and it's not really a story. It's more so like I was like, holy shit,
A
because
point
I like
of conjecture.
yeah, I like them fucking animals and shit. So, and this dude has a name, so it makes it even cooler. This motherfucker is called Gustav the Man-Eater. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's kind of a big deal. So, he's he's a Nile crocodile that lives in Lake Tanganyika, which is in Africa. It's called Burindia or something like that. And it's basically like right next to the Congo. Or Congo. I don't know how you're supposed to actually say it. I'm just showing my ignorance. But this motherfucker, they said if his measurements, because no one can actually get close enough to
Gustavo.
Yeah. You also have to add in the man-eater part because he's a bad motherfucker. So they said if it's accurate what they're guessing his measurement is, because like I said, they can't actually get close enough because the dude's a fucking monster. He's 18 feet long, and they said what, 2 ton or 1 ton or 2 tons. Either way, he's a big fucking boy. And he is awarded with killing over 300 people because he's so fucking big that, well, on top of him being like the largest Nile crocodile on record ever, I guess it's not technically a formal record, but regardless, they have pictures of him and shit like sitting next to the other male crocodiles, and the dude is just fucking massive. And they have like him taking down like full grown bull hippos, fucking wildebeests, whereas like the other crocodiles might like sneak
I'm bringing up
out
a picture of him right now.
Yeah,
dude,
I'm looking too.
He's fucking huge. Like they said that he might sneak out and or a normal crocodile might like eat like a something like a goat size or a deer, and they're literally too small for him because he's so big that he's killing like full on hippos, which get to 2, 3, 4,000 pounds. Like those fucking things get like 16 foot long. They're fucking huge, which is also crazy because hippos seem like so cuddly. Like everyone's like, oh, hippos are so cute, but those are like the nastiest fucking things in Africa, man.
Oh yeah, those kill more people than most of those animals out there.
Right. But so this guy basically, like I said, kills hippos, kills wildebeest, and eats people. And that's kind of like his thing. And like he's been shot with AKs a bunch of times, didn't kill him. They said his hide is so thick that the bullets really don't do anything to him. And the crazy thing about crocodiles is as long as they're eating and they're healthy and they don't lose their teeth and they don't get like any kind of illness, they'll grow indefinitely, like for their entire life. So they don't actually have a maximum size. So you start out as a little baby crocodile and you're eating whatever the fuck baby crocodiles eat, and you just keep growing and growing, and then you realize you're like the biggest dude in the fucking yard, so you literally just keep eating. Like you will grow until the time that you die.
Kind of like he's like the rooster from Alice in Chains.
Yes,
Ain't
just like the
found a
rooster.
way to kill me yet.
But
sorry.
They said that they estimate that he's somewhere around like 50 or 60 years old. So, and this is the part that's like kind of speculation where they can kind of like, if nothing was to go wrong, they suspect that crocodiles could live up to like 100, 150 years old in the wild. Whereas like there's obviously none that have ever been recorded that long. But I mean, that's also kind of a victim of circumstance because you're a fucking crocodile. You know what I mean? Like shit's going to go down. There's going to be a bigger, badder crocodile. But there's this other, I don't know, I guess you would call it an alpha male, but they're kind of solitary. I don't know how the fuck that works, man. I'm not a crocodileologist. But
that's the word.
Crocologist.
Yeah. But like
You are the
basically,
croc, though.
yes. Basically, none of the other fucking adult males will fuck with him because he's just massive. Like they might be like 10, 12 feet long, and this dude rolls in 6 feet bigger than that and another 1,000 pounds. So he basically has first dibs on all the food and all the fucking, and he just like bangs the chick crocodiles and mates and then eats all the fucking food and then dips out. And they said they can fucking live like months at a time without eating, if not longer. So they'll like see him and like, oh no, another townsperson's gone missing, and then he'll just be gone for like months, and then he'll roll back in and they'll find like a dead hippo carcass and like another dead body, and it's like, oh fucking that,
Yeah, but
that
like,
rascal Gustav's at it again.
but here's the thing: like when he craps out like a human, I mean, obviously, you know what it looks like when you take a dump. What does it look like when a crocodile craps out a human?
That's why you see all them logs floating in the river.
Oof.
But yeah,
Here's kind of, so other than like the whole idea of that this thing is just like the closest damn thing we're gonna find to a fucking dinosaur on Earth right now.
think about it. This like okay, does it eat the bones and everything whole? Like when you see a snake eat a rabbit or something, it eats the whole thing. What comes out the other side?
I'm looking up crocodile poop right now.
All right.
Those are important things.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
What'd you find?
It's pictures
Crocodile tears.
Hey, you're that kid from Crocodile Tears.
of poop. It's just pictures of poop. I'm going to not look at this anymore. It's pretty
All
gross.
right. Well, there you have it, folks.
So there's a picture on dinoanimals.com because I Googled that because I thought that was crazy. I wanted to see a picture of them. And there's like an entire village behind this giant ass crocodile that has a log in his mouth to hold his jaws open. Is that him? Did they kill him? Or is that just another giant ass crocodile?
As of 2019, that's like the most recent update. A bunch of people have tried to kill him. And that was actually one of the things with the story. There's this fucking dude, which like I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with humans. Where this guy was like, I really love being out here in fucking Africa, and I heard about this gigantic fucking crocodile. So I want to capture him and put him in this enclosure. And I'm like, why? Like,
Right.
what the fuck is the point? So he was kind of warned, like, hey, I'm going to give you a time limit that you're allowed to try to capture this thing. And he commissioned like a fucking custom cage that's, 30 feet long. And they tried baiting it. They put like cow's blood all over it and like a cow head, and that did nothing. And then they put a goat in it, and that actually flooded, and then they lost the cage. Like a bunch of fucking dummies. And then at that point he ran out of time. But I'm kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, why can't you just let this fucking Mac Daddy fucking croc just live? Like, what the fuck? And this whole thing, like, they're like, oh, well, he would have got all this fame for fucking killing it. It's like, fuck you, man. Like, you want to be a man, you fight that thing with a knife. See what happens.
Yeah. I actually haven't eaten a Jimmy John since I found out that dude like hunted big shit just to kill it.
Dude.
I have.
And it's delicious. And I'm sure that animal that he killed was just as delicious.
It's convenience, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with Buddha. I remember you talked about this before on another show about like zoos and shit, but it's kind of like the same thing. Like, I love being able to read up on them and know that people can study them and even possibly do them some sort of good, learning about them. And, but I don't know. I think overall, don't put these things in captivity.
Dude, like, especially, like, so I was in Florida last week, and we went to the Tampa Zoo, which is a really, really nice zoo, and they have like a lot of really cool shit. But like the whole time I'm going through there, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. But then like the other part of me is like, man, like I understand the concept of like you're trying to preserve them, and that's cool. And like maybe a lot of the animals just born in captivity would not survive in the wild, or got hurt would not survive in the wild. And like, okay, I get it. Like, at least you're giving it some semblance of a life. But when you start seeing animals that are just walking in circles for hours on end or just acting erratic, like that's not fucking normal, man. Especially the fish. Like when they're in like those tiny ass tanks, like that's not fucking normal.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like why does one animal get a giant fucking enclosure or a giant fucking tank and the other animals are like tucked back in the corner and there's not even fucking light?
Because they're ugly. Because fuck them, that's why. I think that's the zoo's motto.
Yeah, because fuck them, that's why.
Yep.
But the one thing I will have
Is it work
to...
a pop copy?
I don't know what that is.
The Dave Chappelle skit.
Oh, that's right. That's right. There's 2 points I want to bring up about the Tampa Zoo is the fucking rhinos. They have a bomb-ass rhino exhibit, and those motherfuckers were about to go at it. They were like fucking horn to horn, man. And they were stomping around and growling and shit. And that's the most I've ever seen a fucking rhino move, which was really cool. And those things are fucking massive as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Cleveland
some of the
has
coolest.
a rhino exhibit.
Has a real rhino?
Yeah. I think we saw at least one. I don't know. I don't know if there's more.
Wait, where did you say?
Cleveland Zoo.
Oh, yeah. They had the one that just had the baby, too.
Okay, yeah. Huge.
They actually redid the
penises.
rhino exhibit. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Massive.
When you said they were about to go
And,
at it, that's what I thought you were talking about. Talking about
No,
some
they were
rhino
about to
fucking-
fight.
Yeah.
They're about to fight.
Not as cool, but
They had,
it's
like-
still all right.
Man, that fucking thing's head is like my entire torso.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
And again,
the other thing,
it's like you can appreciate that you can learn it and love, learn to appreciate it and love it. But at the same time, it's like, I wish you were just, killing something in the wild right now.
well, they're vegetarians, so
People,
that, they don't.
right? I don't know.
What?
Don't they
What's
like
that?
fuck up? Don't they fuck up people too?
Rhino only because they're blind. So like if they get
I
startled,
did just
they're
learn
actually
that at
pretty
the
chill.
zoo. Yeah, just learned that like 2 weeks ago when I was there. Forgot about that.
Cool fucking animals though. But the other thing about Tampa, and I think there's only like 4 zoos in the world that have these fucking things. So shoebill storks, you ever seen those things? These
Never even heard of
motherfuckers,
it.
they sound like something out of Jurassic Park. They have like a fucking gut ripper on the edge of their beak, and they get like 5 feet tall, and they're fucking storks, and they literally look like animatronic animals from Jurassic Park. Gnarliest fucking birds ever.
Nice.
I was super excited when we walked in there, and then Natalie was like flipping through the pamphlet, and she's like, "Isn't that thing that you like?" And I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be the coolest part."
Hell yeah.
Oh, they had a Komodo dragon too. Those things are fucking awesome.
So how did you like Florida?
It was great. It was. Everyone down there is way happier and way friendlier than Cleveland. I don't know if that's just because it's sunny all the time or just Cleveland's just depressing as fuck. I don't know. It's probably both. The one thing that I didn't like, their driving definitely takes a lot to get used to because everything's like 9 lanes. Overall, it was a great vacation, though. Definitely needed it. That was the first vacation that we went on that was a success.
No cockroaches climbing up Natalie.
No, much better than New Orleans.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's disgusting.
it was kind of perfect. It was like 90 degrees, no humidity, no gigantic bugs.
See any lizards running around parking lots and stuff?
Yeah, there were. I don't know what kind they were, but yeah, we saw a couple small ones. There was actually one in the house that I had to save because he was like in there, and I was like, "Oh, come here, little guy, you're gonna die in here." And then he ran behind the fucking giant hutch, and I was like, "Oh," I was like, maybe he'll just crawl out later. And like a whole day went by, still there. And then like the next day, I was like, man, maybe he's dead. And I like moved the cord, and he started to move. And then I was like, God damn it, I gotta move this fucking hutch. So I had to like move this giant ass fucking thing, and then like I tried to catch him and eventually grabbed him by the tail and just put him outside. I was like, stop doing that, fucking dummy.
Do they try to bite you or anything?
No, this one was pretty small. He just kind of hung there when I picked him up.
Gotcha. So you stayed in a house?
We got a B&B in Largo,
Oh, nice.
which was pretty much perfect because we were 20 minutes from Tampa, 20 minutes from Clearwater, 20 minutes from St. Pete's. So it was really nice. Actually, we went to their botanical gardens, which is fucking super cool unless you have allergies. But we didn't get to see the whole thing. It's like fucking 100 acres or something crazy like that. So, and we got there kind of late. I didn't know they closed at 5, which is actually kind of funny though, because there's signs all over that place and in the parking lot that says "Do not molest the gators because they will eat you."
What? Holy shit! Did they have to say molest?
Yeah, evidently. Maybe somebody did it.
Well, too bad Gustavo wasn't there.
Don't touch
my dick.
Taking a bite out of crime.
Yeah, no, it was pretty. It was overall, it was a really cool vacation though.
Yeah.
And the only place that I was actually forced to wear a mask was the casino.
Okay.
And,
Really?
Yeah, everywhere. Well, there was like one restaurant. Rob, I think you and I talked about this before, where it was like if it's a private business and you want it because you want it, that's fine. But if you're doing it because the government is forcing you to do it, then fuck you.
For sure. And I did that at what was it? It was like a Dave and Buster's, but it was a different name out in Avon, and we walked in and everyone's wearing a mask, and I respected that rule. And then after I had a few White Claws in me, I'm like, fuck this. So we started walking around and
Like a chick taking off her bra.
Exactly. Yeah. And so they started announcing over the PA, like, you must wear your mask when you're indoors. And it was clearly aimed at our group because there was just a couple of us not wearing masks. And of course, I was buzzed up and just saying, fuck you. And then the next day I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Like, they probably don't want to enforce that rule, but they'll get shut down if guys like me refuse to.
What day were you out there?
That was 2 months ago.
Oh, 2 months ago. Yeah. See, as of like last week or the week before, state of Ohio is not policing that anymore.
No,
Okay.
June 2nd.
I was going to say June 2nd is the
They've
official
stopped
lift.
policing it at businesses, like.
Oh, okay.
But the lift comes up officially June 2nd, but they're not policing it right now.
I can't
well,
wait till June 2nd here.
I
so
could be
feel
wrong.
Safe.
Who the fuck knows?
I tell you what, they haven't policed me for shit, so
You're a real
they can
patriot.
fuck off. Well, it's not even that. It's just fuck you. I mean, that's
Yeah.
really what it comes down to. Fuck you. If it's your business and you want it, by all means, I'll respect that.
Yeah.
If you're doing it because the government says so, well, they can fucking lick my balls. I don't really care. By their theory, I should be dead by now
Yeah.
because I've
Cody,
done
stop.
everything the opposite of what they've said.
You gonna
As
touch on this
have like
Rand Paul stuff,
a ton
or
of other
no?
people. We could do that after.
I wasn't sure if you were going to. Okay. Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
All right. So I had this weird. Well, I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but I always thought it was kind of interesting. And Rob is really big into playing rock and roll music. So this is off of iloveclassicrock.com. But it is musicians who sold their soul or allegedly sold their soul to the devil. And so I was wondering if you guys have ever heard of any of these famous instances.
I've probably seen
not
the
sure
actual
yet.
list.
Yeah, let's see.
So top one on the list right now, David Bowie. It says while Bowie's personas were a little too much to take for some people, he actually took interest in the occult. Primarily due to Aleister Crowley's influence, Crowley was dubbed as the wickedest man in the world and was an influential figure of the occult crowd. Bowie paid tribute to Crowley in his 1971 song Quicksand and told Rolling Stone in 1976, quote, "Rock has always been the devil's music. I believe in rock and roll, or I believe rock and roll is dangerous. I feel we're only heralding something even darker ourselves. Or I feel we're only heralding something even darker than ourselves." So, do you Bowie?
I could see it because he's weird, you know.
Yeah.
Didn't
I mean, I
Didn't-
like some of his
Hitler,
stuff.
do a ton of shit that was based on all the fucking Crowley shit?
Well, he was.
Like
I mean, he definitely was into the occult.
Yeah, like he used to carry that mandrake root around with him, and like he was fucking all into some crazy shit.
Well, I think he was into anything to keep his power. You know what I mean? Like
that too.
Why
Yeah,
not
that makes
believe in
sense.
everything to just kind of hang on to it? So it's like,
For
well,
sure.
covering all your bases. Next on the list is Mick Jagger. I've heard this one several times before.
Have not.
It says Mick Jagger was one who dove deeper than the average occultist, reading materials such as the Taoist Secret of the Golden Flower, which helped keep, with the help of Keith Richards, the song "Sympathy for the Devil" was born, a fictional reimagining of the devil appearing in some points of history, and performing the song in fake devil tattoos, and also having the track used by the Church of Satan. One would raise eyebrows at the Stones' poster child. Jagger commented on this, quote, "I thought it was a really odd thing because it was only one song after all. It wasn't like it was a whole album with lots of occult signs on the back. People seemed to embrace this image so readily, and it carried all the way over into heavy metal bands."
Yeah.
So-
Sympathy for the Devil. That's one of my favorite songs, actually. Real cool lyrics.
And you know, you told me that story about what's that one song that you covered?
Give Me Shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Mary Clayton.
Well, what about it?
So when they were recording Gimme Shelter, it was the middle of the night, and they're jamming it out, and they're like, this needs a female backtrack. So they called someone who has been doing studio work for them. I don't know if it was midnight or 2 a.m. or whatever. They call up Mary Clayton, who has like a gospel background. I believe her father was actually a preacher, and she comes down and in her pajamas, supposedly 8 or 9 months pregnant, and she starts belting out the that bridge part, the rape, murder. It's just a shot away.
I have the audio here. You want me to play?
Oh,
it?
please.
Let's see here. It's popping up right now. Soloed out. Dang.
Oh yeah, that thing gives me chills. I mean,
Yeah.
just because it's such a beautifully sung piece too. But you could hear, like, when her voice starts to crack, especially the second time, you hear Mick Jagger in the background go woo, and he's all pumped up. And you know, you'll next time you hear the song, you'll always hear that, you know, because you could hear it in the recording, not just the soloed vocal track.
Right.
But later, maybe the next day, she had a miscarriage and lost the baby, and she actually couldn't listen to that song for, I think they said, 4 years before she
Wow.
was able to listen to herself sing on the track.
Wow. It's a crazy story too. Like,
Yeah.
didn't they call her up in the middle of the night and wake her up?
Yep.
Yeah.
So probably sang that in pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 90.
Yep.
all
Pregnant
right.
as shit.
Another one on the list here. Again, I've heard this one too before, but John Lennon. It says another student of Aleister Crowley. Lennon was influenced the other Beatles to take an interest in life of the late occultist. The result was seen on the cover of the iconic 1967 album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The book The Lennon Prophecy by Joseph Niezgoda, I think I'm pronouncing that right, details how Lennon made a pact with the devil to make him more famous than the king of rock and roll himself. The book further draws clues hinting on the pact that to have been effective for 20 years until the day Chapman gunned down Lennon upon hearing his voice, hearing a voice in his head saying, "Do it." So, yeah, I've heard that before as well. So that
I haven't heard that one either.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the whole point of like making a pact with the devil be more believable if it was people that died young though, or died in some tragic way, not live till they're fucking 80 years old?
Well, I was
like
gonna say,
David
wouldn't
Bowie?
it be? people who
We just
lived that
mentioned John
long?
Lennon here. What other way is there?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Oh.
like David Bowie was like 104 when he fucking died. Mick Jagger is still 104.
But
Like-
if you're talking in terms of, eternity, whatever you believe in, if you're going to hell for eternity, 80 years on this planet as a guy who looks like a leather fucking wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a very long time. So it's like, hey, I will serve you for eternity if you
Give
let
me 80 years of
rock
fame.
out,
Rock.
You just have to sing that same song for the devil.
Yeah,
every
if you
night.
let me hate my life for singing songs I don't like.
Yeah.
Dude,
that some
Mick Jagger's
producer told
wife
me,
is
right?
like 20 something, like mid 20s.
Oh yeah, she got.
You
a
think
bu-
he's
or he
taking
got a
them
bunch
blue
of shit
pills?
for that? Oh
Oh
god.
no, she had a kid. He just had a fucking kid like what 2 years ago, 3
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, I remember you sending me that
Wait,
story.
how old is she, you said?
She's like at the time I think she was like 25.
I was
She was
gonna say
definitely
she
in,
might be 30 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she
mean-
was good looking. I don't remember.
I don't know if I ever saw her. Natalie was actually the one that told me about that because I was like, man, the Stones suck. I don't care. And she's like, but you need to know this.
Oh.
Oh shit.
It's Honey Boo Boo's mom.
Oh,
Come on.
Sketty and butter.
Let's see here. Alice Cooper. I mean, this one doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, he seems very down to earth. So I don't know.
I was gonna say he's like a chill dude. He actually, I sold those
Yours?
96s that I sold went to Alice Cooper's like rock. It's called like rock, whatever the fuck it is, where
like
they
a
have like
school.
it's like a school for kids to go there and learn how to play music.
And record and
and,
shit.
Almost like a school
Yeah.
of rock.
Yes. Circling my tongue. I just can't put my finger on it. But yeah, I don't remember what it was. It wasn't called that, but it was that like Alice Cooper School of Rock type thing. But yeah, that's actually where I sold those 96s.
No
to.
shit, that's cool.
And then the last one on this list here is Jimmy Page.
That I assumed was coming because I always heard that he was affiliated with Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
I wonder if that Aleister Crowley dude was just scheming these dudes out of money. Or these dudes out of money.
Well,
He
he was alive he was in like the 1800s.
Oh no shit! I thought. So who was like his mentor or their mentor?
Let's
Well,
says
he
here.
wrote
like, when
a
it
bunch
co-
of books.
But didn't someone live in his mansion? Didn't like Jimmy Page live in his mansion or some shit?
Well, here let's read. So, probably one of the true occultists among rockers was Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this band. Everyone loves this
Buddha
band.
hates Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I fucking hate Led Zeppelin.
Well, you
They got-
pretty much
they got
you
a
hate
couple
every
jams.
band on this list.
Buddha hates every band ever.
Yeah,
Except
I mean
Mustard
that
Plug.
and Real
Yeah,
Big
it's gonna be
Fish.
great.
I'm pumped for Mustard Plug.
Wait, are they coming to town?
In November, they're playing with who'd you say, Buddha?
The Slackers.
Yeah,
Where's it at? The Grog Shop.
it is.
I would. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Um,
surprised. I'm surprised Robert Johnson wasn't on that list because that's the one that everybody fucking talks about.
No shit.
Yeah, it's not
They're
on
like,
this
like
list.
everybody literally was always like he was just some dude that sucked at guitar, and then like a couple weeks later he came back and he was just fucking shredding it, and then he died at 27.
Robert Johnson?
You're thinking of Eric Johnson.
No, Robert Johnson, the old blues player.
Yeah, from the 30s.
He was 20. Yeah, he sounds like he's 60.
Dude, did you
Holy
ever see that
shit.
video of
Yeah.
that kid that's like 9 years old singing fucking blues and he sounds like a 30-year-old black man?
No.
Yeah, he's like in
check
like
it
a
out.
fucking music shop or something.
Wow.
I wonder if. Nah, I'm not gonna go there.
Dude, you know who fucking... Oh, what is this dude's name? Son of a bitch. I can't remember. He's a... I think his name is Catfish. But he's like...
yeah. Yeah, big fat guy.
Yeah.
Kingfish.
Yes,
is it?
Kingfish. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude
He's-
fucking kills it.
oh,
He was
he
young as fuck when he
shreds.
started out.
Yeah, he's a really good player. Very tasty.
He actually has a good voice, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, like, it's really good for blues. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's what you would expect to hear.
Yeah.
You know, Rob, I'm not even gonna lie. I was going to surprise you, and then my I guess fear of offending people kicked in, and I was going to bring up. I had a couple of profiles on Bandmix, and I was going to have you rate their musicianship.
Oh shit!
But I don't want to get sued. Like, what happens if someone's like, "Oh, hey, they played your music"? Because it's crazy. Like, I played Sandstorm earlier, just like a snippet over us talking, as part of like parody. I will go back tomorrow, and YouTube will have figured out that it had played in the background.
Yeah, and then just demonetize.
Well, and so it'll send any ad revenue towards the artist, which is fine. I don't care. I'm not monetizing this shit anyway. But it's just crazy how it recognizes that shit. Like, how the fuck?
They actually use an audio watermark now, so that's why like if
is it like a watermark that a lot of those Waves plugins have?
I don't know exactly how it works. I just know that like.
Well, I remember hearing a story back a couple of years ago where a famous producer was using Waves plugins that were bootlegged.
Wow.
And they were able to tell that because there was a frequency or something watermarked in the mix that only Waves could tell that was there. And then they looked up to see, does this person have licensing? And they found out no. And so they were able to, like, I think take legal action. I'm pretty sure. I think it was Waves. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it is because Waves is big money. I don't know who else would have the money or I mean, when you're failing, that's what you do. You know, like, I'm a Gibson fanboy, but like they started suing people who were putting their guitars in TV shows without giving them royalties and shit.
Yeah. Because
do better at business.
Right? It's pretty easy.
Remember when Buddha went in to go ask a question at Guitar Center, and he was going to ask like, something about a plugin, which then had the guy. What was he saying? Yeah, he called.
Dude, I was like, hey, I'm running this system. I want to know if this pack of plugins is made in a legacy version. Will it run on this? And like within minutes, he was fucking on the phone with Waves, and he was like, I got a guy right here that's ready to pull the trigger on this new fucking setup. And I was like, whoa, dude, like he's dropped like 10 grand. I was like, I just want to ask a fucking question. Like,
I was
dial
gonna say,
it back.
included a computer interface, everything, like nothing you were inquiring about
at all. Never even answered my question if it would work with that.
I got a guy on the phone ready to make a deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Rob, have you ever? By the way, I want to correct myself. Aleister Crowley was 1875 born, but died in 1947.
Gotcha. So they still would have been hanging out with him.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, Mick Jagger might have been.
I mean, they may have been like what, 14 or 15 when he died.
Robert Johnson actually could have been, because I mean that was the.
They're
30s.
probably born early 50s. Robert Johnson, yeah, but Jagger's probably what, 70 something.
Jagger.
I think he's mid 70s.
Yeah.
Jager bomb. Yeah, I'm reading this article right here. It says, or not an article, I think it was posted to a forum. It said, one of my closest friends called me today to tell me he was being sued by Waves for $75,000 for using a pirated copy of their SSLG Master Bus compressor plugin and Diamond Bundle in a studio. Back in March, he was approached by a potential client who presented himself as needing a studio who had these plugins to allow for compatibility in other studios. The client visited his studio where he chatted it up, asked to see the plugins in action. My friend happily obliged, and then 3 months later received a letter from Waves about the lawsuit. And this is out of somebody from a studio-based home. But I could have swore I read like an article where there was like an audio watermark on some of this shit. So, but
that
how do they?
Sense,
but how do they put the audio watermark in like YouTube shit?
I think it has to do with when it's uploaded to the account, or how maybe it's metadata. Maybe it's that when the file's created. Because I was just listening to this podcast on that, and they were explaining like, when if you were to play that and it has to be metadata. I'm assuming, like basically because that's registered to you or whatever like the owner's registry is. if you were to pull that video, they won't pull it down. They'll just send royalties to you. So even if I was to rip it from you, put it up on my page, even all those plays would still send you royalties.
Which is fine. And I think that that's fair, especially to the artist.
Absolutely. Fucking artists been getting ripped off forever.
Right. Well, hopefully it goes to them. A lot of times it probably goes to the publishing company, but which is weird because I don't, at what point do you deem parody? Because yes, we're talking, you mentioned Sandstorm and you're talking about a sandstorm in the desert and I play that song. It's gray area to me whether or not it's part of parody. Because, to me it's parody, but like people would potentially fight that. I don't know. I'm probably talking myself
I think at that point it would depend how it would get flagged. Because it was what, like 10 seconds?
Probably a little bit longer, but yeah. I try to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Rob, have you ever
Please
listened to
don't sue
Greta
us.
Van Fleet?
Not a fan.
Dude,
I tried,
of course,
and I tried to like them because I was like, oh man, like these guys are good. They're like a band who probably records in the same room at the same time. Like nowadays, that's crazy. But it's can't get into it.
But
it's like Hanson, like Led Zeppelin. I don't know.
Hanson was a group of handsome women.
I saw the funniest fucking t-shirt the other day. It had the Nirvana logo on it, but a picture of Hanson underneath it.
Nice. That's pretty good.
But yeah. So, Rob, you said you wanted to touch on something?
What do you got, John?
I just went through a bunch of shit.
Go through some more shit. I'm gonna stumble. It's not even gonna be entertaining. I promise.
No. You said something about Rand Paul.
Oh no, I was wondering if Buddha was gonna touch on that because, he said how it's getting not more publicity, but it's a little more well known. I figured in our circle, Buddha and I, who are, John, I know you are too, a little more politically up and up, especially on the libertarian side, but I'm surprised that more people are as hip to it as they are. I thought it was just kind of, I guess it is the Republican Party, so Fox News is going to promote it and shit like that. But hopefully it just does wake people up.
Well,
You see Fauci backpedaling and now saying that he's not certain if it was naturally occurring or made in the lab, even though they spent years or an entire year saying that it was racist to say it came from China. And
well,
basically, it was
basically,
man-made, and now they're like, oh no, that's probably what it is. And now they're doing stealth edits on all these articles and everything that came out. It's insane.
they're basically ignoring all the evidence that has been there since at least the beginning of this year. And without going too much into detail, pretty much by everybody calling Rand Paul crazy for speaking out how everything being political theater with Fauci, with wearing the mask and everyone else wearing a mask that's been vaccinated, and how the CDC has no idea what they're doing and the WHO has no idea what they're doing and don't hold anybody accountable. And the fact that there was 3 researchers that were working in the Wuhan lab that were sick in November of 2019 with COVID-like symptoms, all of that being brushed under the rug, now coming forward and everyone calling Rand Paul crazy. Now all these media outlets are being forced they're being forced to cover it, because after calling this dude crazy for a year and all the shit actually starts to come out, they're going, wait a minute, we've been saying that the whole time, which is like what you were saying, where they're doing all these stealth edits now, where they're like, that article I wrote 6 months ago, I never said that, or not actually that, but just changing the article itself. But now they're writing like op-eds against themselves from something that they wrote a year ago, which is just crazy.
And what I did hear, I think I actually heard this on Tim Pool, that the Biden administration, obviously they conducted their own investigation into the origins of COVID, which we all know at this point, like, it's obviously man-made. And, well, I guess we can't say that we do know, but Shit, I lost my train of thought. Son of a bitch. Couple White Claws deep here.
Basically, it's just that people weren't walking around the wet markets of America causing this to happen.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. I'll think of what I had to say.
But yeah, we could touch on that afterwards.
After
I
what?
just don't want to. I don't want to go too far down the political rabbit hole and
Right.
lose the 5 people, one of which is me, listening in right now. But John, I don't like you. I just want you to know that.
What?
Nothing, dude. I'm just fucking with you. Did any of you guys ever hear of this dude, Ken Rex McElroy?
Negative.
No.
No. Okay. So this is the other story that I was going to do. And there's a ton of shit to go with this one, but I'm just going to kind of bullet point it just because there's just a lot of shit. So basically this dude was like a town fucking bully in this town in Missouri. And I don't mean like he's a real mean guy. I mean like he was like a legit fucking asshole. And everybody was afraid to stand up to this dude, like at all. And this town that he lived in was like 300-400 people. It was pretty small. And he like kind of, he starts seeing this chick that's like 12 years old, 14 years old, something like that. He's kind of like starting to hang out with her. Her name was Trina. He starts like hanging out with her, and basically like they start fucking, and he's like, I mean, he's what was he, 30, 40, something like that. He was
Holy
old as
shit.
shit for at the time. And so he's like banging this girl that's like 14. And just to kind of show like how crazy it was that everybody was so afraid of him, he would like hang out with the family. And the one time he was like with her and some other girl, and it never said, like, he never said that he did anything to the other girl. But basically, like, when Trina eventually had enough, she ran back home. This motherfucker walked to their house, like the Trina's house with her parents, and they were basically like, you need to stop fucking coming around here. He dragged her out of the house and set their fucking house on fire.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this dude was legit crazy, and he beat the shit out of the other girl. You know what happened to him? Fucking nothing. Literally nothing. There was another time. What was that? What was
what
the
city
question?
was this in? I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck was the name of the city? It was some super small town in Missouri.
Oh, I
Okay.
thought maybe
That-
it was
that's good
Skidmore,
enough, yeah.
Skidmore, Missouri.
Marion, Ohio.
Marion, Ohio.
Bardstown area.
I told that story earlier this week. My cousin, who I'm showing houses to, went to Marion, Ohio. I was like, oh my God, I have the best story ever. So I'll say it real quick so everyone knows. Buddha and I went to Mount Gilead to play paintball, and we stopped in Marion, Ohio to stay at a hotel. And we're driving around. Were we even 21 at the time?
No, we were like 19.
Okay, so yeah, we were underage anyway, but we were still trying to find something to do. Pulled up in this little shit town, and if anyone's listening from Marion, I apologize, but your town is shit. And so they, this group of kids was walking down the side of the street, and Buddha pulls up. He's like, "Hey, what's up? There anything to do in this town?" And the one kid says, "Marion, Ohio, boringest town ever." And then I don't know if we asked again or what happened, but the next kid, Buddha, if you'd like to.
This fucking kid was like 8 years old, and it's like midnight, and he goes, "You can go to New York and get AIDS." It's like that's our options.
Or what about the time we went to where were we going? We were going to Detroit, up to Windsor,
Yes.
and
Oh, I remember this one.
we pull
The
up next
high
to
level?
this guy, and we're like, Buddha rolls out the window, and he's like, "You want to get to Windsor from here?" And the guy's like, "Nah, shit, nah, you far from there. You gotta take the high level. You know what I'm saying?" And Buddha was like, "No." And the guy just drove away.
That was it.
You gotta
That
take
was
the
it.
high level.
Still don't know
Little
what the
did
high
we
level
know.
is.
No, little did we know the high level is a bridge that goes from Detroit to Canada.
Did not know that.
I thought it was
Yeah.
like take the high road or some shit like that. That's what he meant.
That
I
dude
thought
was
he meant
high
get
as shit.
blasted out of your
Like,
mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
he
you
was
gotta
already
get on my
high
level.
as shit.
Yeah.
But since we're kind of rambling, I'm just going to paraphrase on the rest of everything with this story just to get to the point. Basically, this dude, somebody was complaining about him, and he walked up and confronted them and just kind of disregard any of the finer details of this story. So this dude rolls up and was like, hey, you've been talking shit about me. And he was like, I don't know what you mean. And then he shot him in the stomach with a shotgun.
Ooh.
And then
Holy shit.
when this dude went out and was like, this guy just fucking shot me, and there was a witness that the McElroy, he had overheard him talking about shooting that guy, nothing happened yet again. And then the witness is on camera in an interview like, yeah, he told me he just shot him, and because that dude didn't die, he drove himself home or to the hospital, one of the two, but he survived.
Wow.
And then that guy's actually interviewed, and
He went
he's
to the
like,
bar.
yeah, right. He's like, he just stuck the shotgun in my stomach and pulled the trigger. So the guy that was being interviewed, that was the witness that overheard him talking about, he was like, he said that McElroy told him, yeah, I thought I shot him deep enough to kill him. And like, and the interviewer was like, why
Maybe
didn't
this
you come
guy
forward?
is like the luckiest idiot ever.
Well,
Where-
dude, actually, I got another story about that, but I'll save that. So that guy was like, why would I come out and talk about what I heard when the guy that got shot, they did nothing for him, you know? So then this other time, I guess I forgot to touch on the fact that when Trina accused McElroy of rape, he married her so that she didn't have to testify against him. So nothing ever happened with
Wow.
that, even though she was like 14. So they end up staying together. They have kids. This is many years later, obviously. Their kids they go to some candy store, and it's this dude and his wife, the Bowen camps. And they said that there's two versions of it. One was that the Bowen camps accused the children of stealing a candy bar, and the other one was that one of the kids that were in the party kind of made a comment about stealing a candy bar. But whatever it was that happened, the Bowen camps were kind of like, get the fuck out of here, kids. Don't be stealing shit. And so after that happens, McElroy comes up there, kind of starts shit with the dude, and they end up like letting it settle. And then he's like, hey, can I get a pack of cigarettes, as like, you know, extending the olive branch. And basically Bowenkamp's like, get the fuck out of my store. You're not welcome here. So that dude was chilling on the back of his, I don't know if it's like a loading dock or the back of his store one day, and fucking McElroy rolls up, puts a shotgun in his face. The dude dodges at like the last second and ends up getting shot in the neck with a fucking shotgun.
Jeez.
And fucking yet again, man, nothing fucking happens. This dude had like the dirtiest fucking lawyer. And every time something would happen, he would like take the charges and split them up so that they were tried like individually. So he was able to just keep pushing back and getting him off because people wouldn't testify. The sheriff of Skidmore, McElroy went up to him and threatened him, and he was like, you know, you gonna testify? And the sheriff's like, yeah, I have to testify in this case. And he was like, I can make it real bad for people that are gonna speak out against me. That dude fucking quit his job and never testified. The fucking sheriff of the fucking town, that dude bitched out and ended up becoming like a fucking cable installer or some shit. So a whole string of felonies and a bunch of other bullshit going on. They're finally like, all right, this fucking dude's gonna get locked up for like 10 years or however fucking long, and everybody's all pumped. And they're like, but hey, we're actually not gonna lock him up because he's out on bail. And some shit happens, and they're like, this dude needs to get locked up. The fucking courts go, well, it doesn't really make sense to lock him up now because he's going to be back here in 5 days for his trial. So they just let it go. And then his lawyer gets involved, and it turns into no, now he has 10 days to get involved. And I think when he ended up actually getting charged, he only got like 2 years. And keep in mind, like, this dude has a fuck ton of fucking felonies, all this other shit. So all of this shit kind of comes to a head, and all these people are at this bar, or they're at the like a meeting, and it's essentially a town meeting. Now keep in mind, there's only like a couple hundred people that live in this whole fucking town. So they're at like this meeting, and they're like, we don't know what we're gonna do about this guy. Like, he's fucking nuts. He's threatening everybody. Everybody's afraid of him. And the new sheriff kind of goes to this town, and he's like, all right, guys, like, what are we gonna do? We got to get this situation to fucking chill. Blah blah blah. So they go over just. There's no actual details, but it was just kind of a discussion about what they're going to do with this guy. And after that, a bunch of the people at this place just go to like the bar across the street, and they're just hanging out kind of on edge. Well, that McElroy dude shows up, and he knows like that, hey, I'm not going to get shit for any of these fucking, any fucking anything that I got going on. So I'm just going to be a dick. And they said that like he started just being an asshole. And basically, when he left the bar, like 60 people from this town walked outside the bar, and the dude is sitting in his truck, and then he just gets fucking shot, and he dies. He gets shot and killed in his truck. They interviewed all 60 people who witnessed this fucking murder. Every single one of them said, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see anything. And then nothing ever happened with the investigation. So 60 fucking people witnessed this guy get murdered, and because he was such a piece of shit, nobody said anything about it.
Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm looking up here. Ken McElroy. He died in 1981. Sycamore. Yeah, this is... But, so... He must have been disliked so much that nobody would have said anything. I mean, obviously.
That's exactly what it was. And his wife was like freaking out. And they did like a follow-up interview with her after she was killed, because she kept on trying to get like investigations open for it. And they were like, we don't have anything to go off. Like, half the people were like, I didn't see a shooting. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the other half of the people were like, I don't know. I didn't see what happened. There was a lot of people there. And,
well, how many bullets went into the car? Did it say?
Let me double check that. I thought they said a couple shots rang out, but I think he ended up getting shot in the head. And but basically his wife was like, I know who did it. It was so and so, and everyone else was like, nah, it wasn't him. He wasn't even there. So like they literally
it says
were
he was shot several times and hit twice only by a Sentra rifle, and once by a .22 rimfire rifle. In all, there was 46 potential witnesses to the shooting, including Trina, who was in the truck with her husband when he was shot. No one called for an ambulance.
Yeah, that's the best part. She was screaming to call for an ambulance, and nobody did. But when she was being interviewed, she was talking about how the rape thing never actually happened, and she made it up because she was jealous, and that he was such a great guy. And like, it's crazy because if you have the entire town... Oh, another thing is why he kept getting off all the cases. So had he been like a repeat offender and a bunch of shit happening, like they would just look at his prior, at least accusations, even if he wasn't charged, just to kind of go, okay, there's a lot of shady shit in this guy's background, even though he wasn't charged for it. Anytime someone would make a complaint, they never logged any of that shit. So when they looked at it, he still had a clean record. There was no accusations, no anything. So when they're like, well, what the fuck? Maybe this guy isn't that bad. Maybe he's not that big of a deal. It's literally because the sheriff just never logged anything. They were too fucking scared of this guy.
Yeah, that's insane.
No,
but
go ahead.
His fucking wife, like, assuming all of that shit is true, considering the fact that multiple people were shot and nothing ever happened, and he set a house on fire, and he beat up some girls, and then he banged a little girl. Assuming all of that is true, it just shows how fucking strong a case that like that Stockholm syndrome was for Trina.
Yeah.
You know, like she's essentially held captive for, I don't know how old she was when she died. I think she was mid-20s. So say 10 years. Like, you literally think that this dude is a great dude because you're so fucked in the head now. Yeah, it's not, you know, it's not your fault. This dude, he groomed her from a fucking little kid. But to actually hear the interview and hear her be like, he was a good man, like, you know, he never did any of those things. I'm like, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Brutal.
But at the same time, you're like, the one comment I saw is like, everybody looked down and everybody saw a coin at the same time and they all looked down.
Right. Yeah. It says here, the DA declined to press charges. An extensive federal investigation did not lead to any charges. One local resident later told investigators when asked what happened, replied, he needed a killing.
Oof.
So, there you go. All right. Well, 9:30. What do you guys say? We getting into Rand Paul, or are we closing her down?
Let's do off air if we're gonna get into Rand Paul.
All right.
I don't want to bore everybody.
Yeah.
I do remember what I was going to say about the Biden administration, though, how they officially closed the one investigation into the origins of COVID, opened their own. Who knows if the other one would actually yield anything because it's still the government, but this one is relying solely on the World Health Organization and China, which pretty much controls the World Health Organization. So they were there for about 3 hours previously and said, nope, couldn't have came from here. That's, you know, what you need, a 3-hour investigation to determine if a crazy man-made virus came from this lab or not. But, you know, that's that.
Global pandemic settled in 3 hours.
Yep. See?
Yeah. There you go, everyone. Well, a radioless Thursday night, still a great success. With or without Dan Rady, we still wish Dan well in his sabbatical. I'm sure he's listening right now. So, Dan, if you're out there.
He's probably trying to log in.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He's probably been talking the whole time.
Yeah. So, yeah, Dan, if you're out there, hope Thursday you got a breather in between your overtime. No.
Ed, and thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the guy that quit.
I wasn't talking to you either. I was talking to someone else.
But no, thanks, Rob, for giving us your Thursday night between your busy schedule. Do appreciate it.
Hoping to do it again. I
Yeah.
need human interaction among clients.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Well, for Steve Gibson, Dan Rady, Rob Tagliarino, everyone else it's a little loud there. Say goodnight, Buddha.
Good night, Buddha.